What's happening, everybody? We are going to finish the intro. What's going on, Jerome? We're doing this just to upset one individual that watches this channel. If they don't like it, stop watching. Isn't that great? What's up, Corey? Thanks for showing up. Alaska Trucker, what's going on? Favorite YouTuber, there you go. PJ, what's up? See, some people don't like me showing comments on the screen or saying, hey, Desert Okie Pam, what's going on? Good morning to you. They don't like that. Well, that's tough, right? It's tough. Because one thing, we don't charge you to watch this. If you want to go highly professional, all about trucking, all about the business, well, that costs money, doesn't it? Because then I'm putting in a lot of time. What's up, Provost Motorsports? What do you think? Provost is a business owner of many businesses. What do you think, Provost? YouTube's all fun and games, right? We have fun out here. So we're going to take a look at the market a little bit on the density map on 123 load board, just to see what's happening between the trailer groups. We're going to look at that. Then one of these nights coming up, we're going to have the Dean on here. We're going to go over some numbers between a W900 and a T680 and go through all that. So, and tire savings, right? We use a company to get a national savings on tires, and they're really great savings. You don't have to go through all that red tape dealing with the big mega carriers using their savings. I'm not going to use that part of their savings. I'll use this other company. And we'll put that company out there here in a minute. Oh, I'm not supposed to take a drink of coffee either. Sorry. Didn't want to offend you. Sam, I am. What's happening? Hot seat. What's going on? All right, so let's take a look. Here is the map right here. As you can see, this is for van. Got a little softness in Kentucky. Usually that's green. It's yellow. Softness in the south too, a little bit. These are always usually green. So we have a little softness there, but we picked up Minnesota, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Washington, California. So we picked up some western states, and some of the southeastern states or south states have become a little soft. Now if we look at flatbed, we're going to get an even different picture at what's going on in the industry. So here we go. Flatbed's not looking bad. It's looking better than what it has in a long time. As long as you stay down south here, or up in the Midwest here, or up over here in the northwest part of the country. So let's look at reefer. No, we're not talking about the stuff you smoke. We're talking about the trailer. All right, so here we go. All green in the Midwest. Get some slight stuff down here. Yes, Malcolm James. Flatbed is still going strong, which is amazing. Van's doing okay. You like that joke, Sam I am? I thought I'd throw it in there. Why not? I mean, they're trying to legalize it everywhere. If It's legal in a lot of the states, but it's still not legal in those states. People just think it is. Because it's like this. Still federally not legal. So, there you go. And it probably never will be for trucking, so don't get your hopes up, folks. And we could zoom this in so you can see the nice color differential of all the freight out there. I'll say we go away from flatbed. We could do step deck. We could show that. Apply that to the scenario, and there's your step deck. Pretty much resembles flat. And we'll go back to van, because most people haul van trailers. And did y'all notice? I get emails all the time, and van trailers are starting to become available again. So, hopefully, you didn't pay 50, 60, 70,000 for a used van trailer. Because guess what? Prices are going back to where they used to be. And you will see some of these trailer sales folks that still have the vans for a high price, but they have a lot more of them. What they have to realize is the demand's going down for them, so therefore the price will go down. And why is that? Well, that's because there's a lot of businesses out there that don't know their numbers, they don't know how to run lean, and they lost their business. So there's going to be a lot more equipment coming. Because you couldn't even buy a truck. Now, in my emails that I'm getting from a lot of different truck sales, truck dealerships, trailer dealerships, they all got inventory. It's just going to get even worse for them. Which means it's going to be good for all you guys and gals out there that saved your money. Because now you're going to get a good deal. You might have to wait another couple months. But when winter hits, you won't see those 2016 $60,000 trailers. No, you will not. Sam, what's going on? He's got a thing here we'll put up there. Just caught an auction the other day. Equipment prices steadily coming down back to something reasonable. Right, it's still not down to where it's supposed to be, but it is coming down. Here comes a phone call. Hold on. All right, we're back. There was a broker calling to see if we had trucks available in certain areas, so I gave out phone numbers to the individuals that run those areas. What's up, Shannon Thomas Trucking? Good morning. Stuart, what's happening? I'm getting trigger happy for sure to buy back in, but I think the next 90 days will be close to where it should be. Right, Stuart. That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at sometime before spring, you're going to see a huge decrease in used trucks price-wise and trailers. I have been offered to buy several trailers, but I'm not buying them right now because I'm not paying the overpriced price. So, for example, if somebody says I have a 2016 trailer and it costs, they want 50 grand for it. Hey, even when COVID was going, I bought a 2016 trailer for like 20. So I'm not going to pay 60 or 50 or 40 or 30 or 25. I'll pay 20. But when it goes back down, I'll pay 18 because they're not worth 20. And if you ever looked at buying used trucks right now, they want a lot of money down, these banks do. Why? Because these banks found out that they made a mistake. Because when these prices drop and they get these trucks back, they're going to lose a lot of money. Because more than likely, the individuals that bought these trucks at that higher elevated price will not be in business. Therefore, they're going to lose a lot of money. And now, some of them want 50% down. Some of them do. So that could help us out in this industry, because if and when, well, not if, but when the rates turn and go way back up where everybody likes to jump back in, guess what? They better have a lot of money because they're not going to get financed. That could help us. PJ, I know what you got your 2022 trailer for. Right, PJ. If I sell a trailer, lease purchase to a driver or sell to a driver, I sell at the regular price. I'm not overinflating. I don't do that like some other people do. I won't do it. That's the price. Anyway, what's up, James G? How is the western part of the state doing? Shannon's excited. She's excited because she got her fifth wheel out, rolling down the road behind the brand new pickup truck she bought. Oh, wait. No, she didn't buy a new pickup truck. She bought a new semi-truck. But you could haul it with that. If you put an adapter on there, you could. It could do that. So let's go back to the 123 load board. We could look at fine loads. Carlsbad, California. Let's check out California. What's up, Trucker for Life? What's happening? Go buy a pickup truck, Shannon. Well, save your money. Save your money. It's not illegal as long as it's not for hire on the vehicle. There you go. Carlsbad, California. Home of Thunder Funding. Hit the search button, and here we go. We sort it by rate per mile, so we'll see the highest rate. And you see if you stay short in California, you will still make $3-4 a mile. California, Arizona, $15.67, $3.09 a mile. Dakota Express, never heard of them. Backhauls, cancel that out. Credit rating, credit score in 33. So I'd have to look them up. Maybe they're a new broker. Who knows? You could click on them and check them out on the MC. They're right in line with the 2-week average. Now, I might do a video that would upset a lot of people in the industry that watch this channel. And of course, they'll probably do some rebuttal videos if I did it. But what people don't understand is if the trucking industry would stick together, you could set the rates. You could set them, not the broker, and not certain load boards that everybody thinks is gospel when it comes to average rates. Because they're not getting rates from shippers. I'll tell you that. There's no shippers going to give out their rate. When you have load boards, they're getting these rates from rate cons. How do they know the rate cons? Because every load board has a funding company that is partnered with them. So it's easy to get the data. But they're not going to get the shipper data. That's for sure. They're not going to. All right, let's see what Canadian Freight Broker says. Truckers have a belief what equipment should cost. Yet, we're not truck or trailer dealers. Brokers, shippers do the same with rates. Certain companies are low value, don't want high rates. Yes, true. But over time, we know what equipment costs, right? It's a lot different than rates. The only way a trucker knows what the true rate is if they go to the shipper and get the load themselves. Dedicated customer, whatever, direct customer, whatever you want to call it. I could go out and get direct customers. I've already been approached for direct customers, but I don't want direct customers. Why? Because I'd have to broker all that freight out, and right now I don't have the time for that. But it's coming. When I grow this business to a certain level, then I will focus my attention on the brokerage and direct freight and trailers. So when trailers go back to normal, I get to a certain level in the trucking company, which is, it's getting close. Then I'll focus towards the brokerage, still building the trucking company. But then I could put more focus in the brokerage, get the direct customers, put drop trailers in strategic locations at some shippers / receivers that have already been approached with. So, because you always have to be thinking of the next level and what to do. Don't get complacent on where you're at, right? So, and that's in any business, right? So, I mean, if you want to be complacent and you only want to have one customer or two customers, you know, or less than 5 customers, that's your business, right? But if you don't grow and you don't want to grow, then what do? You're just stuck in one level forever, and that's all you have. And then if you lose those customers, then you're out of business because one, you haven't been practicing and going out there and getting other customers. Just like in trucking, if you sit there and you haul freight for years and years, and then if you stop hauling freight and you take a vacation for years and you come back, things have changed. Yes, you could still do it, but you know, it might take you a while to get back in the groove. You know what I mean? But it's easier in trucking because you can look on load boards and just get loads. Now, If you're a broker and you have to actually go out there and beat on the doors and talk to people, or sign up to a bunch of 3PLs and things like that, I mean, you can do that too, but you still have to get the freight. It's a lot more labor intensive, right, Canadian freight broker? It's a lot more labor intensive going out and getting the freight than it is to, get on a board or apps and just pick loads, because the middleman's doing it for you. So I look at growth, right? There's a few ways to grow. Grow the trucking company, which we're doing. Grow the dispatch, which is really growing. I mean, we have carriers that we're dispatching for. So we're going to keep growing that. And then when I have the time, I will grow the brokerage on my time. And then we'll start getting agents and so forth, just like we're going to add dispatchers. We'll add agents and so forth. So that's all coming. It might take a few years, but we're in no hurry. Trucking's going nowhere. Brokerages are going nowhere. So there's no hurry to get it done. We're going to do it right. We're going to do it once and do it right. There you go. Come work brokerage with you, of course. This next summer, the shop should be built. We should have that up and running. Of course, the offices will be there, so we won't have this echo. I got rid of some of the echo thanks to CDN, but we'll build a studio inside of that office building, and then we'll do YouTube videos there. And then, we could have other microphones and cameras set up, multiple platforms there, so you could come in and be on the show if you want. Stop by, be on the show. A lot of shippers have set up fuel surcharge program and accessory fees set. In fact, some shippers have rates in select lanes. Smaller mom and pop companies deal with the spot market. Right. But see, this is where, there's a lot of different thought in this industry. People think spot market is overfill from the mega shippers. It is not. There are more mom and pop businesses than there are megas. Just like in trucking, there's more independent owner operators than there are megas. Right? So trucking could actually control the freight rates if you could get everybody on board, but that's the problem. You will never get everybody on board, because just look at the YouTube. No one can agree with anybody. Everybody's got to argue about things because they have their own opinion and they think their opinion's right, and so forth and so forth. So trucking will never band together and do what they need to do. One, if you're an owner operator, you need to know your business's cost per day. The cost per mile is not where it's at, folks. If you do your cent per mile, right? I need $2.12 a mile. It's not going to work. If you know your cost per day for your business and your home and everything added up, you will always be profitable in this business. Why? Because you're not going to care when you call up in the broker. You're not going to even ask them, oh, what's that pay? How much per mile? How much per mile? You hear these guys. Landstar guys are the best for it. Oh, well, I'm getting $3.50 a mile. That means nothing. If $3.50 a mile, what if it doesn't cover your cost per day? Means nothing. Means you're losing money. But if you know your cost per day and you ask the broker, hey, how much does this load pay? He says $1,200. Right? What if it's $2 a mile or $1.50? You don't care. He says it's $2,000, and if you do all your math, let's say you need $500 per day, and if you're working for a company, you take the percentage, you deduct your fuel cost, and if it equals your $500 per day or more, you're making profit and you're staying in business. See, because a lot of guys will sit, like right now, they sit on the sidelines because they're like, oh, the rates suck. They don't know their cost per day. All they think is the cost per mile, what they think they need. And so what happens? They sit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days a week. But guess what? They find that load that is their cost per mile. Let's say it's $3. But it's not $3 no more, folks. You sat a whole week. You will never make that money back up. It's simple math, exactly, smooth trucking. The simple thing most of these guys are missing. Miss most of the days in school. That's right. They went out back, smoking their cigarettes, doing all the other stuff, not going to class. So, CDN says, exactly, Jeff, is the smaller companies that contribute to load board explosion in the past 5 to 8 years. Right. So I look at different when I look at trucking over the last 32 years. I see the dedicated freight. That's one freight option. Direct customer, dedicated, whatever you want to call it. Then I see the spot market freight, because that's separate from the direct, right? Spot market freight. And then you have all your specialties, right, that you can go through. But for van, you got two things. You can have direct freight or spot market freight. It's two different animals in the arena for freight. Now, yes, if let's say I go to 50 trucks and I get some direct customers and then I broker some of that out, right? You can offer that. What that offers is a stability. You know how much it... See, that's why mega carriers have direct freight. They're not doing it because they're going to make a lot of money. They're doing it because they say, okay, we could have this P&G. We get 10,000 loads a year for them. This is the X amount of money. This covers this much of our business, guaranteed. We know we're in business. We know we're not going out of business because we have this freight to get us there. Now, 99.9% of the chances that they can make more money running spot market? Yes. Yes, there is. Because spot market always beats direct all the time. Now, people say, well, I'm getting this. Well, yeah, but if you do the average over the year, it beats it. It beats it. So that's why the mega carriers still dabble in the spot market. Because they're making the extra money. But they keep the direct to keep their business. And why they have to do that? Because they own all of these trucks and trailers and they got a lot of overhead compared to the owner-operator or owner-operator companies, which have a whole lot less overhead. So we don't need to worry about direct and having now you have a job, right? If you have a direct customer, it is a job. You're not true independent because you can't go and do anything else. You got to supply that direct customer. It's a job. And if you get a direct customer for a paycheck, then you don't have the right mentality or mindset or skill set to be a true owner-operator. You might not agree with that, but that's true. You got to have those two you got to have mindset and skill set. You can have one or the other, and yeah, you might do okay. But the true entrepreneur has both. Rich S says 278 contract, 189 spot in 2022. What are you talking about? 189 spot. Those figures are wrong. I hate to tell you. Those figures are wrong. You can look at some load boards and look at $1.89 and say, oh, it's $1.89 spot. That's wrong. Where are they getting the number from? Beat that number all day long. Beat it all day long. Look, they say it's 189. Okay, 189. Here's 2073 or 730. Here's 488, 461. And by the time I come down here, I go through about 100 loads before I even get to $1.89. Come on. When are people going to wake up and realize what's going on in this industry? Because this is what's going on. A lot of brokers that are new in the industry, just like truckers that get in this industry, what do? A lot of people do DAT, right? So they go to DAT, and you see it on some of these Facebook pages, and it just cracks me up. I just laugh at it and just shake my head and want to hit your head here at the desk and just keep pounding your head in the desk, because folks just don't get it. They just don't get it. So if you have a company out there that puts $1.89 spot, the new guys in the industry, or the ones that don't know any better, they look at that. They pay for that. So they're going to say, oh, well, guess what? They negotiate with that broker. Well, the new brokers are the same way. Brokers are looking at that, and they're laughing all the way to the bank, because they know they can sell it. It doesn't matter if that load's paying $6 a mile. If they're saying $1.89 average, why would they want to go too much above that? Because they know that most of the truck drivers out there are going to use that as a basis, and they're going to say, oh, can I get $2 a mile? No, I only got $1.89 in it. Can you go to $1.95? Well, we can go $1.92. Oh, okay. Well, I got 4 cents better than the spot, or 3 cents better than the spot. Wow, I'm doing great. You could have got 60 cents better than the spot, or 70, because that number is fictitious. It is. You don't have to believe me or not. You can say I'm full of whatever. But what do you think, Cool Trucking? That number is a basis. And how are they getting it? How are they getting it? Are they getting it from rate counts, that's how they have to get it? But think of this, folks. Let's think of this. Let's say a broker says they get 20%. They could get 50 to 80. You'll never know unless you're in that spot. Let's say they get 20%. So they like to use slang words, right? So they don't want to say double brokering, because they don't double broker. They co-broker. They don't double. They co-broker. Same thing. But okay, we'll let them have their co-brokering terminology. So what happens is, let's say the load pays $3,000. I'm a broker. I take my 20%, $600. That's $2,400 left, right? $2,400 left. I call up my other broker friend. Hey, you have a big network. Can you help me move this? I give it to them for $2,400. They say sure, because they know the average rate for that load, let's say, is $1,800 on the board. They take it for $2,400. They take their 20%, and they move it for $2,000. So now 20% was taken from one, co-broker 20% takes it from another, and then you're left with whatever's left. It's how it works in business. Because time is money, folks. And don't you ever think that if I'm a broker and I ask another broker to help me move the load, everybody's going to get a piece of that pie. You're not going to do it for free. If my brokerage called up CDN, said, hey, CDN, can you move these 20 loads for me? He ain't going to do it for free. That's a lot of work. He's got to answer, who knows how many phone calls, do negotiations. Time is money. So everybody's going to get a piece of that. Right. See, and the unfortunate reality is new brokers with no mentor only learn from load boards. Does anyone else have a way to teach lanes and rates? I don't know. I haven't seen it out there. Have you? But see, that's the problem with the industry. It's the same as real estate. Exactly, Shannon Thomas. It's the same as real estate. You can take this into any of the businesses that are out there. You know, the broker, that business, they're not bad people. Just like truckers aren't bad people. It's the way it's set up that is bad, right? Because they don't want carriers. They call it double brokering, right? So, which is not, because I could call it co-carrying, right? Co-carrying, just like co-brokering. I could use the same terminology. There should be no different if I got a load from, let's say, C.D.N. and my driver can't get there, but let's say I have another carrier that I know. Hey, yeah, we can haul that for you. He goes in, grabs the load, and takes it. They call that double brokering. Why couldn't it be called co-carrying? It would be the same thing. You got two different businesses helping the other business out. Same thing with brokerages, right? You got two different brokers, or three or four, helping each other out. Same concept, but when it's the carrier you're going to do it, they say it's illegal. Almost sounds, I'm not going to say the political word because people get upset, but almost sounds like that. Now, here's the thing. Who has almost all the risk? The carrier. Carriers always have almost all the risk. Now brokers are starting to get pulled into it because lawyers have found that, hey, if we can tie the broker to this truck getting in this accident because they told them they had to, get it there or they had to do this, then those folks are starting to get sued also now. So they'll have to up their insurance. But when it comes right down to it, most brokers, especially the small ones, that's why they always want to be listed as a certificate holder, which means nothing, right? It really means nothing. It's just a waste of time. Oh, I want to be listed. You don't have to be listed. Because as long as they have cargo insurance, something happens, the cargo is covered. Doesn't matter if you're listed or not. Because you can prove it. Now, another thing, if you're a broker out there, listen carefully. If you're a broker out there and there's damaged freight or anything like that, and you're trying to hold back money from a carrier or charge the carrier, you cannot. You don't own that freight. You're not a freight forwarder. If you're a freight forwarder and you own that freight, then yes, you can. You don't step in the middle between the shipper and the carrier, because what happens is this. Once that carrier gets those bills of ladings, you're out of the loop, buddy. You don't have nothing to do with the freight. You don't own the freight. The carrier now possesses that freight. Until it's delivered to the receiver, it's the carrier's responsibility. If something happens, it's between the carrier and the shipper. It's exactly where it's at. And if a broker doesn't pay you, then go against the bond. And if they don't do that, then go get a lawyer, because they'll eat that up. Only a freight forwarder can own that freight. All right, enough of that. I'm protecting my customer and making shipping easier. I protect the carrier to provide quality info, central contact, and make the load easier. Right. That's what a broker does. Right. CDN's got it down. Right. That's what they do. They're the middleman between the shipper and the carrier, and anything that arises, they try to minimize the damage and make everything run smooth. Right? So they're talking to their shipper, reassuring them that the carrier's, doing the job, they're getting there, the freight's protected, and then, they're working with the carrier on the appointments, and if the appointments get screwed up, they're trying to over smooth that, and they are the middleman or pivot man between the carrier and the shipper, and they got a lot of headache. Let's see here. Hold on a minute. We got some messages. Hey Tommy, thanks for the Cash App. Appreciate it. So Tommy sent me a Cash App. Charles Spray says, I have a question. A lot of truck drivers weigh up to 350 pounds or more, and how do they pass their DOT physical? I have no idea. No idea. A lot of them might not have the symptoms, diabetes and things like that. They just might not. Just because they're 350 or more doesn't mean that, they're not is in real bad health where they can't pass the physical. So just because they're that weight doesn't mean they can't drive a truck. However, some shippers hold the broker accountable. I have shippers say they hired me and have to deal with claims, etc. Brokering and trucking is not easy. Right. Well, that's true. They can have you do that. That's between you and them. But when it comes right down to it, it's between the carrier and the shipper. Right? I mean, if the carrier wants to knock out the broker out of it, he can knock the broker out of it when it comes to that. Because the insurance company will. The carrier's insurance company is going to go right past the broker, right to the shipper. And the problem is this. This is how you protect yourself on those claims. One, you have an ELD that will show anything of harsh braking or anything that would be incidental going to the customer. So if they say, oh, well, the freight shifted because you had to have turned the corner too fast or you had to hit your brakes too hard to cause that shift. Well, for your ELD, if you're using the right ELD system, the ELD system showed no harsh events, they have no legal standpoint on that point. They're done. They can't prove it. You can prove it because you had nothing happened, right? Now, the guys that don't have ELD, you can't prove it. You can't prove that part of it. So that's one thing. Two, the shippers, see, they don't want to take responsibility of their own employees not loading the freight right or securing the freight right. Right? They put in certain freight that needs to be airbagged, needs to be blanket wrapped and all that, and they don't. And they just have a carrier come in and just say, okay, put your straps across the back. That's on them. That's shipper fault. I'm pushing 350 and get my medical card yearly. I have sleep apnea, so no yearly physical is required. So yearly physical. Yeah, yearly physical is required. That's right. So Greg D's a perfect example. You can still get the card, Can he do things to better? Everybody can do stuff to better their health. I need to lose weight myself. Right? So, if Greg, if he lost, let's say, 80 to 100, and the diet was different, he might not have sleep apnea no more. You never know. There are people that can get rid of sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is not a disease or medical condition that you can't get rid of, just like some diabetes. If you change your eating habits like that, some people, diabetes, goes away because they're not that far gone yet. What's up, Big Rig CEO? Yearly physical is not required for sleep apnea. It's doctor's discretion. It's doctor's discretion on everything about sleep apnea, isn't it? Cut carbs and processed junk. You'll lose weight. Right, Snowlord. See, that's what a lot of people don't understand. Most of the food that everybody eats in this country is processed, which isn't good for you. So all the fast food, don't eat it. I haven't ate in a McDonald's in, I don't even remember how long, 6, 7 years. I won't eat it. It's garbage. Same thing with Taco Bell, Burger King, you name them. It's all garbage. Garbage in, garbage out, right? It pollutes your system. It's toxic. And who's pushing all this? The government. Greg, I lost 120 pounds as a driver doing low-carb diet. You did. You did. Think about this. Look at all the fast food, right? Look at Taco Bell. Look at Burger King. Look at all of the fast food. And look at how much sodium is in that food. Just sodium. We're not going to go about the other chemicals. Just sodium, right? Go buy yourself some 90-10, 85-15 ground sirloin from the store. And what's the sodium content? You ever wondered that if you cook your own hamburger patty and it's only, a few hundred calories, but if you get a hamburger from one of these other places, it's 1,000 calories? What's the difference? What are they putting in it? Bigger CEO said, I have a 2-year card and require CPAP. Schneider had a fit but couldn't disqualify my card. That's the only reason I know about this misconception. Well, the Big Orange, they always over-exaggerate everything when it comes to stuff. Yes, Nevada. My prediction, I'm afraid, is you will haul it. Because you're a truck driver. Freight, we will see what happens after the midterms here. After the polls, the elections that come up here in the midterm, we will see. We will predict freight after that. We won't predict it until after the elections. Then we'll throw out some predictions. But you can't predict it until you know what's going to happen in the Senate, Congress, all that good stuff. A lot of people talk crap about brokers, but if you agreed to a price, who cares what the broker makes? Right, Charles Spray. See, that's the thing. I don't never talk crap about anybody's business. The broker is a business. Now, if I'm a broker and that's all I had was a brokerage, then yes, I'm going to make as much money as possible as I can. I'm not going to say, oh, well, I'll only take 7% or I'll only take 10% because that's all I should take. No. Why would you? You're going to take whatever you can take. So if the load pays $6,000 and you get somebody that says they'll haul it for $2,000, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you put $4,000 in your pocket and pay them $2,000? They agreed to it. No one's making them not agree to it. But if you make $6,000 and say, I'm only going to take $7,000, or say 10%. So you're going to give them $5,400. Well, you're going to have a lot of customers to make a living, aren't you? A lot at that rate. So got to think about that. Every business out there is to make as much money as they can. So if you're doing it as trucking, you can't blame the broker for doing it, because that's their business. Same thing with the shipper, right? They're trying to make as much as they can. So they're going to up the price in the store if they have to. If they have to try to lower their transportation costs, they'll try that. It's business. Do we like it as an owner-operator that a broker might make just as much money a load as you driving it and you have all the risk with all the equipment? No, absolutely not. But who decided to do it? You did, because you accepted the rate. No one makes you take the load. You take the load. Why? Because, one, you might not know your numbers. Right? You might not know your cost per day to stay in business. Two, you have way too much debt in other places, so you feel like you're forced to take it. Because, a lot of people live beyond their means. So that causes problems. So there's a lot of factors, right? It's a business. They're going to try to make as much as possible. Keto or paleo diet makes sense for lots of folks. Yes, it does. Just reminded me of you that busy week a while back. Yes, I did cool trucking. I will display it in my next slide. There you go. All right. So I have to get back to work. Let me see here. I have all kinds of stuff going on here. I did have a really good meeting with the insurance company. They came out, they went through everything, checked all the operation out, sent me this nice letter that is a recommendation of what they would like to see for next year. For us to implement some things in safety. So I'll go over this with Snowlord, talk to him about it, and we'll implement this. See, that's how you get the good rates in insurance. And see, a lot of people won't do this. You invite them in to your operation. You let them go through your files. You let them look at your computer. You let them look at all the stuff, all your ELD data, everything. That way you can prove to them that you're doing everything safe and efficient. And, all your paperwork is legal and up to par. So you have them come in, do that audit every single year halfway through. Then they will give you a recommendation of what you could do next to even better what you're doing. And you get rewarded in the end with, good rates and a good business partnership. Because see, insurance rules the game in trucking. And if you just shop around each year for insurance because this one's cheaper than the other, you're never going to get the deal. You're never going to get the insurance that will take you to the next level. Why? Because you're always moving around for the best deal to save a penny. You'll step over $100 bills to save that penny. And that's what most people do. Yes, I do have the best safety manager. I do. Have a wonderful day, everyone. All right, Shannon, have a good one. Great info today. Well, CDN, does that mean you're not going to talk to me anymore? I mean, I didn't say nothing that isn't true. It's my opinion. You know, a little disclaimer. All this is my opinion. You know, and if you don't like it, you have your opinion. But that's how I see the industry after 32 years, right? That's how I look at the industry. Just from my experience. All right, so we have to get out of here. Let me see, I got some rate cons. ETA to pick up today, please. Well, what I'll do, CC'd for the mom and pop brokers that don't use the technology, I will just send them a live link so that way they can click on it, see where the truck is anytime they want. And what I do is I usually set the expiration of the link 2 hours after delivery. So that way, if they're at the receiver, let's say for an hour and a half or almost a 2 hour mark, they can still see they're there, right? In case they forget that they had a delivery, they can say, oh, yeah, is that truck there? And if it's an hour or so past delivery, they can still see if they're there or not, or if they're already going down the road. So I will send them that link. Everything you said today is 100% correct. Of course, I want to keep chatting. Well, yeah. We will go live, what is it, Thursday? We might go tonight or Friday night. And it'd be nice for you to join in because we're going to do a live horseshoe. We might do the horseshoe. Bring the horseshoe thing back, right? Do a horseshoe night where everybody just come in and talk, and we just talk about the industry or whatever we want to talk about. All right. So we'll see y'all later. Thanks for watching, and we'll leave out of here with some Snorlord music. The best safety manager in the business.